Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind. We've got to tackle some leftist insanity today. Now there's a lot of things that I have immense pride in. My family upbringing, my family culture, the way I carry myself, the way I live my life. There's a lot of things that I'm proud of. One thing that I'm struggling with, however, is being proud of my generation. I find it hard to be proud to be a millennial. Why, you may ask? Well, just look at the frickin' stats. Talk to people who are my age, and very quickly it becomes depressing. People attempting to justify Democrat socialism and communism. And then, of course, there's my generation's popular thought leaders. You know exactly where I'm going with this. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez strikes again, making every millennial out there feel shame to be a part of that same generation. And it's shameful videos like this that really solidify that stance. Here's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez with her incredible knowledge and insight, giving us a great solution to Joe Biden's migration crisis. Or rather, illegal migration crisis. Trust me when I tell you it's absolutely genius. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so here's the clip that's going viral all over the internet. And this isn't a blooper, by the way. It's not a gaffe. It wasn't an accident. This is something that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said unironically and actually posted to her own Instagram account as some sort of great highlight from a moment on The Daily Show. At least it looks like The Daily Show. Take a look at this.
You represent one of the most diverse districts in Congress. What can be done at the federal level to help?
Well, here's the thing, is that I think whether from all parts of the political spectrum, one of the biggest issues that we have when it comes to immigration is the fact that we have an undocumented population. Now, you can fix that by trying to build a wall, or you can fix that by trying to document people and create a path to citizenship. And we'll have folks that might say, look at these systems, you know, that our shelter system has weight and things like that. But one of the reasons that our public systems experience weight is because people don't have a documented and reliable path to work and sustain themselves, just like all of our ancestors did, and our grandparents and great-grandparents. You know, I always love when people talk about, like, oh, well, you know, my great-grandfather came and he wrote his name wrong on a book and now he's a citizen. And like, can we put two and two together, that our processes today are so difficult that they make our immigration process difficult? But that doesn't mean that immigrants do not create a positive contribution to our country and our economy and our society. And so the answer should really be, we should make it easier to be legal, documented, and a citizen of the United States of America.
Right there, right there.
And there's obviously only one legitimate reaction to listening to that clip. Or, actually, now that I think about it, there's a better meme.
Terrain seems a bit unstable. No readout yet if the air is breathable. And there seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
Possibly one of the most idiotic things I have ever heard in my life. I mean, literally one of the dumbest political takes I think I've ever heard. There's a southern border crisis, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's solution is to just start granting pathways to citizenship for people. Just cross over the border and you're a citizen. The Oprah Winfrey of handing out green cards. You know, that kind of rhetoric is why we're in the crisis that we are already in. Like I always say, the false promises of amnesty is the core factor behind the migrant crisis. That's why we saw over 3 million apprehensions at the southern border, because of irresponsible rhetoric exactly like this. In other words, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's solution to the crisis is to blow the crisis so far out of control to the point where I guess the American economy collapses. Genius. Big frickin' brain. And of course, the saddest part was the host, who provided zero pushback and just sat there letting her speak, nodding in agreement, as shocking as that is. Oh yes, sounds very, very smart, Congresswoman. Please go on. Please elaborate on your ideas. Then the crowd goes wild and starts clapping like a bunch of damn woke seals. Erf, erf, erf. But of course, nobody in that room took 5 seconds to frickin' think, because if you did, well, if you had the ability to think, you'd know it's one of the most idiotic idiotic things you've ever heard. It's so incredibly naive. Let's just apply common sense based on basic knowledge. How many people live on the planet? A quick Google search says 8.1 billion people. There are 8.1 billion with a B human beings on this globe. The United States accounts for a little bit over 300 million, probably getting close to 400 million at this point with all the undocumented illegal migrants. So we're talking about a fraction of the world population. The American economy, American taxpayer dollars, can't cope with the current influx of migrants. We already know that to be true based on what Democrat mayors are saying, what Eric Adams and Brandon Johnson are saying. I'll play the two clips I always play in this instance.
You know, the city is being destroyed by the migrant crisis.
Well, what we have is clearly an international and federal crisis that local governments are being asked to subsidize. And this is unsustainable. None of our local economies are positioned to be able to carry on such a mission.
And so the question is, well, what's the number? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is essentially telling us, let everybody in, because obviously that would be the direct result of this kind of policy. No limits, no thought whatsoever, just blanket amnesty to anybody who crosses over from any poor country. Just come on in and we'll give you a path to citizenship. Those 3+ million illegals crossing the southern border every single year will very quickly turn into what, 10, 50 million? With 8 billion people on the planet, and according to statistics I found on Google, as of 2022, 23% of the global population, so 1.8 billion people, are living below the poverty threshold. With that many people across the globe living in poverty, what do you think the numbers would be? With that many people living in poverty across the globe, how many people would pack up and leave willing to make the trip to the United States of America? It would be tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of people. Completely unsustainable. The idea is beyond idiotic. Obviously, if you open the door for 3 million, then another 3 million will think, well, hey, if they did it, we could do it. The problem will obviously then snowball. The leftists will get the no borders world that they're constantly asking for. And I'm sure according to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, that world would essentially look like a suburb.
When people ask me, what does a world where we defund the police, where, defunding police looks like, I tell them it looks like a suburb.
Just like if they defunded the police. But of course that wouldn't be the case. What we would see is complete mayhem and chaos. Most likely an underclass, extreme poverty, a collapsing economy, and of course, increased undersupply of housing, leading to a massive decrease in standard of living for your average American. It's always the same idiotic nonsense with these leftoids. Ideology based in feeling and emotion, but most importantly in getting TikTok likes and getting single white women on SSRIs clap like seals for your amazingly well thought out ideas. What leftists show every single time is a complete misunderstanding of the basic facts. Their policy ideas fall apart with the most basic line of questioning. Where are you going to get the money? Who's going to pay to house all these people? Wouldn't that create downward pressure on wages? Wouldn't that create a huge shortage of housing? You ask the most basic question and the whole thing falls apart. Emotion in some cases is fine, but for the most part, especially in the world of politics, when it comes to the world of ideas, emotion should play a role, but a very, very small role. We have to apply common sense. Yet all leftists ever want to do is live in a world of fairy tale make-believe, where money is an arbitrary concept. The thought process, the rhetoric, the ideology is grounded in fantasy, or another recurring topic, entitlement, or enabling behavior, as if you're entitled to just walk into another country and gain citizenship, or as if doing the wrong thing or criminal behavior, whether it's crossing the border or stealing from a store, somehow that makes you the victim. Non-stop enabling of crap behavior, non-stop entitlement ideology. It all sounds nice in fairy tale world, where in your own mind, the results of your policies all lead to the world looking like a suburb.
When people ask me, what does a world where we defund the police, where, defunding police looks like, I tell them it looks like a suburb.
But in reality, in practice, it doesn't exactly work that way now, does it? AOC strikes again. I'm just hoping that my generation is gonna wake up by the time the Gen Zers are my age. Otherwise, we might be in serious, serious trouble, because as of right now, it seems like the only thing standing between us and full-blown idiotic communism is Gen X and the baby boomers. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.